Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm your host, Paddo, and what a game we had Monday. Tina Charles looked unstoppable, Caitlin Clark went down with an ankle injury early, and the Fever almost blow another big lead. Let's dive into it. First off, as is tradition, we only give our opponents props here on the GBD, so let's talk about the Dream. They're a dangerous team who have racked up wins out the break, including the Storm, the Sun, and the Mercury. And oh my gosh, tonight, nothing showed off more than Tina Charles, who was unstoppable, having 28 points, 8 rebounds. She was having her way with the Fever. Every player she was making a play on, turnaround jumpers, give her a little bit of space. Yeah, she's gonna sink it, showing why she is the second all-time leader in points for the WNBA, and she's going to continue it the way she's looking just in this year alone. And last but not least, sneaking in for an honorable mention is Jordan Canada. Was the only other player to really find light in the Atlanta offense tonight. Not on the floor, getting to the line, getting some free throws, a lot of great assists, had 6 assists on the night, and was able to make something happen for her team and almost lead them to a comeback. The Fever gave us a tale as old as time. They get a big lead. They're able to hold it throughout, but they almost let it slip away yet again as the game got late, even in the fourth quarter, where normally they are great. But first, let's start off with the good. Caitlin Clark is not injured. I think I can speak for all of us when I say there was a giant collective held breath waiting for Katie Girl to get up off the floor. Thankfully, she walked off under her own power, and only that, but she came back in and delivered a 19.7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block, and only 2 turnovers, which ties her career low, which was against the Sparks way back on May 24th. Clark also tied the rookie record for threes and broke the WNBA record for most 15-5-5 games in a season. She was 1 game away from the 25-5 record held by Breanna Stewart. Thank you, CC. Congrats, breaking more records every single game. Still hunting down that assist record, which she's still on track for. And I'm just happy she's okay. After the game, she actually said that she looked a little soft on the replay going down. But ultimately, we're happy that she's okay. Next up is Kelsey Mitchell. Lit it up tonight, 29 points, 7 rebounds, proving to be the consistent option for the Fever, shooting 43% on 23 shots, a lot of volume tonight. Struggled a little bit down the stretch, but we'll get into that later. Aaliyah Boston gave us early points and hit another double-double tonight, scoring 14 points on 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 stocks. I continue to be impressed by her assist numbers as they start to creep up. Also, I love that little top of the key free throw line area kind of 2-point shot of hers. Just nice little, she's starting to work it in. We're seeing at least 1 or 2 a game that are easy put-ins. Really great with that pick and roll game. Love the effort from her. And you know, the next person on this list, I'm gonna have to eat some crow on this. Demiris Dantas. She was 3 for 4 from threes tonight, way better than the 0-5 performance from the last game against the Lynx. She shot 80% overall. I would still love to see CC take her shots down the stretch, but have to give her flowers for this game. Good job, Demiris. You're slowly becoming one of the most consistent options, a reliable option for scoring at least, and the defense is picking up a little bit. Would love for you to not give so much space to players like Tina Charles and Nafisa Collier and some of the big post players, but overall a bright spot. And last but not least, of course, our girl Lexi Hall. You know, she's not scoring all the threes, but she's just always coming in clutch. That motor, big steal down the stretch, and also a big 5-point play combining with Kelsey Mitchell, the assist drive, a hard finish for an and one. Misses her free throw, gets the rebound back, pitches it to Kelsey Mitchell, who goes and finishes for an and one of her own. Big play that helped keep the Dream at bay today. So definitely some good stuff to see from the Fever as they pretty much dominated a lot of aspects of this game. Now let's get into the bad. And the bad really is pretty simple and glaring, and it's poor finishing. Yet again, we see, Caitlin lost probably about 3 assists tonight, easy, on dimes that weren't finished. There was also a weird play where Lexi Hall's opponent actually went down in front of her and she missed a layup. Just sloppy ball. AB even had a lot of putbacks off of her first attempt tonight, so props to her from getting the rebound off of her misses. But man, there just so many easy baskets that we just kind of weren't getting in there tonight. Temi also having another bout of yips. The other player that I want to talk about, and it's not necessarily, I think this isn't necessarily a bad for her tonight, but Katie Lou Samuelson is just, we've seen her minutes start to fade away. She had 3 assists tonight, which was good, but only had 6 minutes and change of playing time. Again, the starter role just kind of slowly slipping away. And I was a big fan of KLS early in the season when she was finding threes, but lately she's just kind of been a role player that gets out on the floor, and you hope she doesn't pick up a bunch of fouls on defense. So overall, a better point tonight, but it's a little bit sad to see her start to slowly back out of a main starting role. And I'm interested to see if Sias decides to change it up eventually, because there's way more people that can take time. Temi's time going up with her speed and length, and the more she gets kind of integrated into the team, like she'll just be a more consistent threat that they can wheel out there. Demiris Dantas is giving Fever points on a consistent basis most games, so it'll be interesting to see if she gets more playing time. Now we go to the Delirious. This is the weird things, the questions I still have, potentially the ugly things that happened over the course of the game. And we're going to kick it off with Chrissy sides continuing to let off the gas when the Fever get leads. We keep bleeding leads. We go to the slow half-court offense, and it feels like we just kind of run something till the play clock runs down, and then it's, Kelsey Mitchell hucking something up, or Kelsey Mitchell trying to force a play, and then or whoever gets the ball last basically being like, oh crap, I gotta make something happen. They take a shot, we miss, we kind of get these runs going against us, and we can't stem any of the bleeding, which is very, I'd rather not sweat some of these games. The offense was very night and day from the first half to the second half tonight. The Fever scored 52 points in the first half and 32 in the second half. 20-point drop off was definitely a woof for the Fever. CC took only 2 shots in the fourth quarter, while Kelsey Mitchell took 10 and only shot 20% during that time. If it wasn't for Lexi Hall and the Kelsey Mitchell heroic 5-point play when the game was within 1 possession, I don't know if they would have actually pulled this one off. And it still was down to the last couple seconds. I think they got multiple shots, multiple 3-pointers, which eventually, the Fever were able to get, a hold of. Caitlin actually got the ball and called a timeout. I think she actually probably could have dribbled out the clock or forced them to foul her, and she's a 100% free throw shooter tonight, although so was Kelsey Mitchell, who eventually went to the line and put away the game. But man, I'd really love for the Fever to just close one out nicely. And the other piece is there's so many times where the ball gets fed into Nalissa Smith, and then she does this inexplicable. She's like, I'm gonna do a 360 turnaround jumper. And I feel like, I know that it's selection bias of me that every time, I believe that she misses with this ridiculous amount. So I went and looked up her stats, and apparently she actually is a 50% shooter on the turnaround jump shot, fadeaway jump shot, or just a turnaround jump shot in general. I don't know if this is all counting the 360s. Her jump shot her actual just straight up jump shot is only around 28%. I think here are low 30s at best. But then these turnaround jump shots are actually a 50%. So go figure. I was sitting here being this is the worst play. And honestly, it should be a terrible percentage play. I would rather if she just had a strong take it to the basket layup or something like that. She's amazing at that. That's where her bread and butter is. But she always just takes these turnaround jump shots, and apparently it's a 50% hit rate, or 48.4% or something like that. So it's not as bad as I thought it was. So I guess I'll just watch now with a grain of salt, and you could know the statistics now too, that she's actually not that bad at it. So go figure. Regardless of how much the Fever made us sweat this game, the reality is the Atlanta Dream are a dangerous team that has been chewing up teams above us in the standings. So this was a great win regardless of the journey. This was a big win for the Fever, so we should be proud of this one, even though we struggled a little bit. The Fever have a big test this Wednesday against the super powered up Connecticut Sun, now that they have Marina Maybury. And so that should be, this is a really big test. I think if Fever can win this game, I think they're going to really start to prove and move into that contender word as we look forward to the playoffs here. And I think that the Fever are in a really great spot. So Thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe if you want to catch more of the good, the bad, and delirious, and more content that I'll have flowing towards you in the new future. If you have any thoughts about the upcoming game, throw them down in the comments. I'd love to answer questions or get your thoughts and chat with you. So with that, remember, you're going to be amazing today because you are amazing.